already hurting people. We talked about this last night. I bought a brisket last week, a 20-pound brisket. It was 20 pounds, and it was $4 a pound, just a few pennies under. That's almost double what it was just last summer. Milk is up almost double. Everything you buy in the grocery store is higher. I still buy it because I have the money to buy it. But these people I've just been reading about, they're having a real hard time. And that's part of what this racial unrest is across America. It's the economic collapse. Those of us that have money, those of us that are working, are having a harder time than we did last year, but we're still managing. But the people that were barely managing last year are panicking. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. I think this is going to get considerably worse. Considerably worse. And a large part of it is the economy. A large part of it is also the fact that when you give 99 weeks of unemployment benefits to people, they start looking about week 95. This is stupid. Study after study have shown that if you extend unemployment to 200 weeks, people will start looking for work at about 195 weeks. If you shorten it up to 20 weeks, people will find a job in 15 weeks. If you shorten it to 8 weeks, they'll find work in about 4 or 5 weeks. When you make it that easy to live on the dole, why should these lazy bums get off their butts and go look for work? And that was talking about unemployed people. That isn't talking about the black community, because there's a lot of lazy white folks out there living off the dole the same way as there is people from every other race. And it's shameful. I can blame them because they're the ones that's too lazy to get off their butts and go find work. But as a nation, we're enabling them. We're making it so easy. Why should I go to work to bring home $400 a week when I can stay home, not have to get up and get dressed, and I can make $400 or $500 a week with all the different benefits? They probably make more money. Changing gears a little bit. We've complained for weeks on this show, months, that the militarization of our police departments is out of control. Great big up-armored personnel carriers and Humvees, assault rifles, night goggles, camo. They're not police anymore. They're militarized. They're like turning loose the army in our streets. Well, the federal government has been doing some auditing, and a lot of these weapons that they've given police departments across the country have come up missing. Some departments are missing a couple of guns, some missing dozens. So they're doing a clawback. If you're missing weapons, you need to turn the weapons you do have back in. Sheriff Joe Arpaio over in Arizona, Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, he's been under attack from the federal government for years because he insists on locking up criminals, whether they're illegal aliens or not. And the Obama administration has sued him. They've put auditors there watching his people arresting criminals, making sure they're not being profiled, doing everything they can to tie his hands. He's now the only agency in the entire country that is being completely kicked out of the weapons issuing program. Sheriff Joe says, it's not going to change a thing for me. The weapons were there, we accept them. He's got weapons and he's got money to buy more weapons. He'll get what he needs. But once again, it's Obama. It's Obama and Holder and the entire administration messing with people that don't toe the line, that don't do as they're told to do by the dictators in power. Folks, stick with us. We got a whole lot more coming up. We'll be right back.
Tom O'Halloran, holding the line against tyranny from Washington, D.C.
I am America. One voice, united we stand. I am America. One hope to heal our land. There is still work that must be done. I will not rest until we've won. I am America.
Welcome back. This is the Wednesday night edition of Patriot Radio, and I am your host, Tom O'Halloran. Be sure to catch us Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time, for Jihad on America, where we take on the Islamists here in the homeland. We tell you who they are, what they want, and why you should be afraid. I'm going to take a break from the politics for just a minute. I just want to do a mini rant, okay? I watch football. I like football. I like seeing the tough guys go out there and beat the crap out of each other to get the ball and take it down to the end zone. I'm getting real tired of all this sissification of my football. A few months back, we had a player crying that he was being bullied. You're a 280-pound linebacker or whatever. Get over it. Now we have senators chiming in that we may need to have senator or congressional hearings on the NFL if they don't police their players. I'm not going to stop watching football because a player decides to haul off and hit his wife. Okay? If the store manager at Kroger's punches his wife out, I'm not going to go shop somewhere else. This is between the guy, his wife, her lawyer, and the football team if they want to get involved. But until there's a conviction in the court system, they don't need to get involved. Until he's been convicted of actually doing something, they don't need to get involved. If it's been proven that he's a wife beater, I'm fine if they boot him out of the game. That's not cool. But do I demand he gets booted out of the game? No. Suspend him for a few games. Tell him to go sit in the corner. This is getting ridiculous. I'm getting tired of turning on sports radio shows and not hearing anything about sports. It's all about this politically correct sissification of America. The last thing I need Congress to be getting involved in is sports. Manage the freaking budget. Start recalling some bills. Stop criminalizing everything that Americans do. And get your nose out of the locker room. Okay, that's it. I'm done. It just annoys the crap out of me. On and on and on and on. Every show you turn on TV, even Fox News, it's all about spanked his kid with a switch. I was spanked with a belt. I thought I said I was done. Stop it. I was spanked with a belt, and I seem somewhat normal. Don't die! Okay, folks. Enough of that politically crap switch belt stuff. Rick Perry decided to secure the border between Mexico and Texas. Obama wasn't doing it. He got tired of seeing these thousands and tens of thousands of illegals crossing the border, and he decided to do something, and he's deployed the Texas National Guard on the border. He's also allowed several militias to go down there and work the border, tightening it up, securing it. He got a letter from the president of Mexico. Actually, I think the letter actually came from the foreign affairs director. But it basically stated the measure taken unilaterally by the Texas government is clearly erroneous. It does not contribute to the efforts being made by our countries to create a secure border and a solution to the issue of illegal immigration. The effort by our countries to secure the border? Is this guy high? There is no effort. Certainly not on Mexico's side. They've given illegal aliens a free pass from their southern end coming up from Honduras, giving them free passes from all southern countries across their border. They're loading up the trains. They're sitting on top of the trains. They have a 72-hour pass to pass completely through the country and into our country. During that 72 hours, when the train stops, there's food for them. There's medical assistance if they need it. But they get a free pass to cross their country to invade our country. This man is complicit. He is an accessory to an invasion of our country. And he's saying that we're not helping to secure the border? A week later, Rick Perry, God love him, longest serving governor Texas has ever had. I'm going to miss him when he's gone. And I hope he makes another run for it. Rick Perry wrote a letter to President Enrique Peña Nieto. He says, as neighbors and economic partners, Mexico and the United States are inextricably bound by shared interests and cultures. As friends, we might not always agree, but we must have an honest and respectful dialogue about the challenges we share, which is why I write you today. He continues, I believe strongly that our continued prosperity depends upon a partnership that works collaboratively to address our shared border security challenges, rather than marginalizing legitimate views on one side. Our partnership cannot advance if we fail to acknowledge serious issues associated with lax border enforcement along both of our southern borders. He cited the physical danger illegal immigrants face crossing into the United States, as well as the criminals that seek to exploit the lax border security, causing harm to Americans. Perry assured Nieto that he is dedicated to addressing the issue head-on and added that he will not be dissuaded by rhetoric of any kind. So he invited the president of Mexico to come up and have a visit, which may or may not be taken up. He offered the same kind of an invitation to the president of the United States, who came to Texas but couldn't be bothered to go down and see the border where we're being invaded. So he went to Dallas instead and attended a fundraiser. Shocker. I'm just shocked, I say. Absolutely insane. Shifting gears. Jihad. ISIS. In an article titled The Islamic State of Sexual Violence, former CIA analyst Aki Prietes and Tara Mahler noted that the scale of sexual violence against women, girls, and boys committed by the Islamic State is prodigious and will devastate communities ravaged by war for generations to come. The UN estimates 1,500 boys, women, and children have been sold into the state's industrial level raping and sex slave industry. 1,500 of them. Systematic rape used to destroy, ethically cleanse, and fundamentally weaken societies is nothing new. The Tutsis did it in Rwanda in 94. It surfaced in Bosnia in the 90s. It goes back to Japanese. They turned Korean women into comfort women. In all of the cases, It's not merely